The Division 2, and I've been here before. And each time the same question. Is this the one? Let me explain as I blow away these heroic NPCs like they're paper dolls. This may not seem unusual, but if you look a little closer, you'll notice I'm actually running what's likely the most overpowered, underrated, and underused shotguns in the game. And I have combined what I am now calling my fun gun with one of the most OP build sets, making this one of the most unusual shieldless face tank shotgun builds in the Division 2 that actually works. If you search YouTube for face tank builds, you will either find a handful of videos of overly armored builds with horrible time to kill, bullet magnet shield bearers that don't count, or stupid gimmicky builds with big claims that don't actually work outside of the YouTube universe. Stupid build. Today, we'll be putting to rest the long-standing quest I've had since I've discovered how much I love run and gun builds, and that is the quest after the best shotgun for shieldless face tanking in the Division 2. Let's get into it. First, I have to get you up to speed. Let's quickly go through the actual progression of all the shotgun builds we had to go through to get us to this climatic conclusion today. The idea of the best shotgun for shieldless face tanking has been on my build bucket list for a long time. But making this dream build is actually really hard. To go shieldless, you need a lot of power, so you can't have too much armor, and all of the shotguns with a lot of power also have a really painful reload time and a low RPM. And of course, the fast shotguns are short on power. When I discovered the Super 90, I was freshman enough to think there couldn't possibly be a better shotgun out there for DPS. Then the devs brought us the exotic Scorpio, which surely has its perks, but all those status effects do get in the way of just killing. I mean, if you have the power, why not just kill them and move on? The mop finally graduated from being a secondary weapon for me when I created this really cool build centered around its unique 10% armor on kill attribute. The tsunami has to be mentioned because it opened my eyes to pummel, but that talent is sort of redundant on that gun since it already has a fast reload. But pummel on the M870, the strongest shotgun in the game, had me believing I had finally arrived at the ultimate plug and go shoddy build. But as the pattern goes, I discovered something better, which has brought us to today, the fun gun. Now, there is some explaining to do on why this gun is better than the M870 and the rest, but before we deep dive, I'll go through the build and circle back on the KSG shotgun details. We are running a 4-piece Hunter's Fury for the 15% damage for shotguns, the 20% armor on kill, and of course, the 45% amplified weapon damage. The mask has crits and a rolled armor. The gloves has more crit damage. The knee pads are more of the same, and the holster is also a clone. I like to run the Hunter's Fury chest piece, but I realized I was killing and moving so fast I didn't need the extra time the talent gives us for the amplified damage stacks from the set. So I gave myself a boost with Intimidate for an additional 35% amplified damage for a total of 80% amplified weapon damage. And then Memento for the 20% bonus armor to proc Intimidate, plus a 25% short-term weapon damage buff and the 30% long-term weapon damage buff.
You know when you see something and it just looks right?
Like a Kangol had on Samuel L. Jackson.
We have 54% crit chance, 105% crit damage, 1.1 million armor, and 30% armor on kill, which is 330,000 armor back. For skills, I'm using the decoy, which helps a ton, as well as the Banshee Pulse, which is the real reason I'm running Gunner. That helps us bum rush mobs of enemies. Then the gear set status effect on kill takes over from there. I have an alternate build I'll also share with you in a moment, but listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is what you came here for, why the shotgun is the best, and better than the strongest shotgun in the game, the M870, and better than the Scorpio. The trick with these heavy hitters is avoiding manual reload altogether. Now the M870 has better handling than the KSG all around, and it hits about 200,000 damage points harder. But what you need to know is that you're going to miss your shots from time to time. Some of the NPCs are slippery. Also, sometimes you face multiple heavily armored squads, and with the M870 you don't have enough in the mag to proc the 3 kills for pummel. In both those scenarios, you will be faced with reloading, and when you're out of cover, that's no bueno with this reload time. It's still awesome, but that situation does happen. I handled it by using the rock and roll as a backup. Look at how many rounds the KSG holds. The reload time is slower because there are more rounds. Yes, the base damage is less, but high enough to do the job to constantly proc pummel. It is very, very rare and forced to manually reload. Even if I miss or face a mob of really tanky enemies, this gun has a quantity of shells to dish out whatever it takes to get the 3 kills. After I fell in love with the M870 and got this drop, I realized it filled a weakness gap in the M870 build. Don't want to swap weapons with pummel because you get that 40% weapon damage bonus on that 3rd kill. Swapping weapons nullifies the chain kills and you have to start all over. The KSG solves that problem. The Scorpio is really cool, but it is quite a bit weaker and with less rounds. The reload is faster and stuff, but the KSG just gets the job done faster without having to reload basically ever. And it staggers nicely, almost every round, and then you get the status effects on kill from the gear set. I'm just saying, when it comes to being a more efficient killer, this is the one.
Winter's day, a dream away. It must have been love, but it's over now. It was all that I wanted. Now I'm leaving without.
Hey, if you're looking to play the Division 2 in new and exciting ways, you're at the right place. Be sure to join my Discord for more, and I'd appreciate the like, comment, and subscribe if you dig what I'm putting down. I got lots more where this came from. Just a quick note, there's more to shieldless face tanking than just the build. I survived because I move fast, flank, get the jump on the enemy by shooting first, and staggering them. I also use my situational awareness to catch them as they spawn as much as possible. Lastly, you need to have some moves. The alt build I also like isn't very complicated either. I'm using the Coyote's Mask for the quick extra 25% crit damage. I'm running the Hunter's Chest, which gives me added time on the Hunter stacks, and this backpack, which has Vigilance for 25% more weapon damage. I'm sure you didn't expect that. You see, we get the jump on the enemy, and Vigilance helps us save a round or 2 per 3 kills. It basically ensures we get pummel and the 40% additional weapon damage, which is all we need from there. Once we have that, it lasts long enough to help us get the next 3 kills, and so on. And Vigilance is around enough to save additional shots and help never manually reload this beast. Whichever of these 2 builds you use, doesn't matter. You will have fun.
Hi, boys.
Also, if you have a hard time playing shieldless, then swap out for the firewall and the striker shield. That added weapon damage bonus the shield gives also aids in ensuring pummel kicks in. You will be trading off some speed for that, so pop the shield in and out as often as possible to stay fast. This video will give you the blueprint for the most epic build in the game and 4 build templates to help you add more survivability to your gameplay. Tuxedo out.
On everything. Follow me.